Right now I'm looking at our text, Joseph Plum Martin. Joseph Plum Martin is a story from our Journeys book. We were there too, and it is telling us stories about people during the Revolutionary War. So right now I have it opened up like it is my textbook. I am going to zoom in. This is what's a document called a PDF, meaning you can't edit the document, but we can zoom in. So I have it zoomed. I'm just going to move over. So Joseph Plum Martin. I can tell, I know people named Joseph, so I know that this is a name. I can imagine that this is his full name, Joseph Plum Martin. And now I was a soldier. So our purpose for reading today is we're going to be reading and identifying character traits for our main character, Joseph Plum Martin. I have to the side here, I have a notebook paper, and I have at the top of my paper, Joseph Plum Martin written down. And every time that I see a word or a phrase that is describing who Joseph Plum Martin is or what Joseph Plum Martin looks like, I'm going to jot that down. Now, I do not have to write Joseph Plum Martin is a boy. Joseph Plum Martin is a soldier. I don't need to write all of those things. Instead, everything that I list on this page is going to be about Joseph Plum Martin. So I can do bullet points from here. And I am going to put it in my own words. So, Joseph Plum Martin. And now I was a soldier. I can tell that that is in quotes. I'm imagining that Joseph Plum Martin became a soldier. That is my inference. Milford, Connecticut, 1775. So 1775, right in the middle of the Revolutionary War. Joseph Plum Martin was a tall, strong, hard-working boy who grew up on his grandparents' farm in Connecticut. So right there, I've got a lot of character traits that are describing what Joseph Plum Martin looks like. So I can go ahead and write down one bullet point: tall, strong, hardworking. Now, I don't need to put that in my own words because those are describing words that they gave us. There will be a point where I do turn it into my own words. He's from Connecticut. Though he never went to school, he managed to write one of the best diaries of the Revolutionary War. So it says he never went to school. I'm going to put that in my own words and say that Joseph Plum Martin is uneducated. Now, it did say he was a good writer. Now, how could someone write if they've never been to school? Well, I can infer that he is smart because he's able to write one of the best diaries of the Revolutionary War, even though he's never been to school. And so I have tall, strong, hardworking, uneducated, and smart. Now this here, it's in italics. I know that this is going to be my introduction. It's introducing us to Joseph Plum Martin. Joseph Martin forced a metal plow deep into the soil while his grandfather worked alongside. Oh, I know that a plow is a tool used for farming, so I'm jotting down on my notes that he is a farmer. And because up here it says he worked on his grandparents' farm. The soil while his grandfather walked alongside, guiding the horse that pulled it. It was a fresh April morning, a perfect planting day. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the sound of bells and gunshots in Milford. Joseph dropped the plow and dashed into town. Okay, he heard gunshots, he heard bells, and he's not going to hide. He's running towards the action. So I can tell from there that he is brave. His grandfather followed behind him as fast as he could. Now, I can also infer that his grandfather is brave. However, we're not writing down his grandfather's traits. We're only writing Joseph's. A crowd was gathered in front of the tavern, where an express rider from New Haven shouted news of the 3 days before. There have been bloody battle. There had been a bloody battle in Concord, Massachusetts. Many were dead. Soldiers were needed now. A silver dollar was the reward for anyone who would enlist in the American Army and march off to New York to join General Washington. Now, right now, that was just giving us some information about what was going on in Connecticut and Massachusetts. Did I learn anything about Joseph in that paragraph? No, I didn't learn anything about Joseph, but it's preparing me to learn more about Joseph. Now, your job, I'm going to post my notes in the pictures so you can see what I'm talking about. I want you to continue reading the next page, which is over here. Let me scroll over. Reading this next page, noting character traits that we know about Joseph, and then we're stopping at the end of this page. You will have an exit ticket that you need to go back into Edsby to find.